Troy Talks T.M.I. Transformation, Motivation, Inspiration. Hello, and thank you for joining me. I am hoping that whoever is watching and or listening are well at this present moment. My talk with you today was inspired by conversations that I've had with a few friends and family members. And it all came together after a 2.5 hour conversation with a friend of mine who lives in Sydney, Australia. In every one of those talks, I was hearing the same thing over and over. Why is my life and everything around me crazy right now? Why can't everything just be perfect? The topic of this talk is coming to terms with self, accepting the duality. We live in a world of war and peace. We all have experienced hate and love. We fight within ourselves of what is right or wrong, and yet we soldier on, trusting our instincts that we are doing the right things. We question ourselves, and at the same time we trust ourselves. Within that beautiful whirlwind of thoughts and emotions, action and non-action, sound and silence, we must always keep in mind that we are perfect as is, with nothing lacking, nothing at all. Understanding this without question constantly reminds us of who and what we are. Completeness, whole and unique. There is confusion, and at the same time, there is clarity. We choose at those different points in time how we're going to live in those moments. We either say yes or no, or we act or we stand still. It's like that with all things in our lives. Even when we don't realize it. It's living in the duality of it all and making it work for ourselves to create peace in our lives, a sustainable peace that makes us feel sane and safe, and less likely to feel vulnerable or lost, or just being in a state of confusion. When a baby cries, we know usually it is not happy or feeling uncomfortable, but when that crying stops and they are calm and smiling, even sleeping, we know that they are happy, serene, and comfortable. And yet, we say to both of those reactions that that is normal. It's basically how it is, and we usually know how to respond to each appropriately, right? But as we grow older and we ourselves experience those same emotions, reactions, and feelings, we tend to think that something is wrong with us and that it is not normal, that we are not balanced and nothing is perfect. But think about it. If we can look at a crying baby that needs attention, we tend to those needs to bring about a sense of calm. We instinctively know how to nurture that baby, but we have forgotten how to nurture ourselves. Embrace what you perceive as imperfections. Embrace those moments when you think, when you think you are feeling unbalanced and out of sync. By embracing anything that is opposite that you are feeling, seeing, experiencing, know by having faith in yourself that you are actually living within the duality of all things. And it's a part of a reality that we must accept. Navigating yourself as you live your life in the duality of all things, you constantly make yourself aware of when and how you should or can handle it to create the change that will make you feel the opposite of what was making you feel sad or unhappy at that moment. It's accepting that this is fact to everything around and within us. Everything has a direct opposite. It's the way of the world, of the universe. It's okay to feel, see, and be aware of those things that are opposite and different. It's okay. It's all right that they are different from one another, because by acknowledging this, accepting this, knowing this, it constantly creates the changes that are always needed in our lives. Experiencing the opposite of something allows us to understand it and to know the pleasure afterwards, as well as consistently seeing our strengths and awareness of everything. We will always go in and out, be sad and happy, confident and fearful, but accepting all of this as the way it is, we also see how to constantly rise above it all and to continue to create and sustain peace in our lives. When you are at the very nadir of that dark, abandoned moment in your life, remember, you will rise to the zenith inside of you. In the words of Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, the 13th century Persian poet, Islamic scholar, theologian, and Sufi mystic, or better known as Rumi, the great poet, I will leave you these words. Being desirable means being comfortable with your own ambiguity. The most ambiguous reality is that we are flesh and spirit at the same time. With everyone, there is light and shadow, good and evil, love and hate. In order to be truthful, you must Embrace your total being. A person who exhibits both positive and negative qualities, strength and weakness, is not flawed, but complete. A friend of mine said, and I echo this, for me, this poem is about coming to terms of who you are as a human being and what it means to be a human being. I totally agree. What you think as of imperfect is actually perfect made whole. It's how we understand this that makes us realize we are living every day feeling balanced, in sync, and most of all, complete. Remember, there will always be light in the darkness, and darkness surrounding the light. It's up to us, all of us, how we radiantly illuminate ourselves, not just in our actions, but within our inner selves. It starts there.